Navajo Nation was going to move forward with those 20 million state allocation. I have a few other follow-up questions when it comes to funding, because what I'm doing right now, colleagues, is I have all of like the CEJACEN balance, and we identified what region, because what I think could be something to consider, because it did pass out of Budget and Finance, I voted red, because I think there needs to also be a comprehensive discussion about roads priorities in each district. And you could see how that type of discussion helps your district, because then it's council working with executive to say this pot of funding will be split by 24 districts and have us have the same opportunity to fund our road projects, and not have to have all of these questions surrounding the project. And that's possible. I sponsored a CEJACEN amendment to, in fact, do that. So we have, the skeleton. It was line item vetoed at the time by President Nez, but it gave at least all of our districts a chance to know what funding they could possibly use for road projects, and to see how they were going to, what they wanted to see in the future. Like, what do they prioritize? Because not everything can be a priority. And my last question to NDOT is, how are you going to operate and maintain this investment if it's passed? So many projects are beautiful when they start, but I drive, I think it's N5, the Burnham Road, 491. I'm driving these major roads and they're like falling apart, right? They're falling apart, yeah. And so those are other issues that I think we need to consider, because we have to consider that when we talk about like, if the funding is finite, like there's only X amount of dollars, how much are we going to use for roads? How much are we going to use for community projects? Like, how much money are we going to use to get people connected to water and electricity? And so I think there's a larger conversation that needs to take place, and we have a lot of that information, and working together we could create an opportunity for across Navajo Nation, because the satellite chapters feel like they're left out. I represent communities in New Mexico and Arizona. Depends who I'm meeting with, they feel another community gets all of the resources. So I would like to show them in a dashboard, and if NDOT has that information for the non-federal highways, that would be helpful. I'm gonna look through your quarterly report right now, but I think you only do it per agency. So I'm asking for the Navajo Nation report. And we've talked to, my district's talked to NDOT planners. Last summer, maybe the summer before, there was, everybody came together, NDOT recorded us, but I haven't really seen the plan to move forward. And that's why I'm concerned, is if it's just gonna be project by project, I can't support that type of methodology at this point because of the need that's out there, and not knowing where the state money actually came from, and how then the Arizona road projects are being prioritized. Because we have in the past hosted the Arizona
Chair Crotty, I would, sorry for interrupt you. It's right at 3 o'clock, colleagues. So I'm going to call for a recess. We do have a set agenda for our council session. Then we can reconvene Naa'bik'iyati following the session. So just a reminder, we do have the dates that are just only posted for today. So we can come back to this issue. And now we took note of who is in the lineup. So we'll go back to Chair Crotty when we reconvene, then going to Chair Jesus, Delegate Dr. Andy Nance, and Chair James. So colleagues, I'm going to go to recess here at 3 o'clock p.m. And colleagues, I'm going to open roll call for about 10 minutes while we switch over all of our equipment recording to a session mode. So just give us about 10 minutes.